Hello guys, super breakdown coming into play here. Glad to be uh, checking in. Just different ideas that occur to me throughout the day. One of them being the ego will default and hope that people will find your body attractive or you know like you, and in truth, that energy can be activated. The ego energy is the third chakra. That's the energy where if you after masturbation, second chakra, you do things like exercise. And by the way, I noticed with exercise, I like to listen to podcasts now while I jog. I noticed that I was listening to more higher intensity music, and it was making me want to run too fast and making exercise not so enjoyable. But now I just listen to podcasts and TED Talks to encourage me to advance myself in life, and um, and also I do my sets of push-ups throughout the day, all on the premise of feeling better. It's about feeling good. And you have to experiment a little. Notice if you eat healthy and you exercise, write down that you feel good. The ego will think that, it doesn't feel good, or it feels better to, eat less healthy or whatever. And remember, it's also about people you surround yourself with and what you have in your house, right? If you have stuff in your house, you are more prone to be affected by it. Or, like, for example, if you have some ice cream in your house, if it's not in your house, you're not going to eat it, you know. And also the way you dress. Like, for example, a big thing for me is my religious, you could call it religious indicator, the ring. Like, imagine yourself to be already married. You're already married. Imagine how life would be. You wouldn't be so unsure of, maybe this person will find me attractive. You'd have a certain confidence, and also a certain respect for people, and including people you might be attracted to. You'll be able to respect them, want good for them and their dream mate too. And that's part of the mentality. You have to think of things from the perspective of, think of things as if you're an older person. What would you want your life to be? Sometimes that's the only way we can actually engage in human behavior, even though I think it's preferable not to be old. And I think the reason, it's not even old, it's just unhealthy. And I think it's just lack of using coconut oil in the skin, lack of exercising, and then taking a cold shower. Because if you take hot showers and the soap and the chlorine from the water comes in your body, and don't use coconut oil and use like unhealthy, petrochemical, all this petrochemical stuff, and like fluoride in your toothpaste, and fluoride and chlorine in your water, and then you try to respond to aches and pains not by chiropractic or stretching or dietary changes, but with big pharma, then you're gonna get unhealthy, or quote unquote older. And if you're not stretching right, all details, even stretching the feet out, even regular masturbation, all these things. Okay, these are how we're supposed to live. Marriage is the way it's supposed to be. That's an ideal. Marriage is supposed to be a nice, fun thing. Something that's in a perfect world. And so, more specifically, though, people say marriage for someone. That's not specific enough. You have to say your dream mate. Like, you look at people that say, "Oh, I have a girlfriend or spouse or partner," but is this person their dream mate? Would they describe them as such? A question worth asking. And in any case, like I was saying, just feeling really good, exercising to feel good. When my back aches, I'll do a set of 30 or 40 push-ups, and then I'll warm up the back, and then do a little stretching, stretch out a little bit. So it's all oriented around not, how far am I going to run, or how much weight am I going to lift. Sometimes I'll do squats too. but no, or how many push-ups I'm going to be doing. No, it's just doing it amount of to activate yourself, and I think there's a certain like ideal number, like an ideal amount of weight to squat. Like I'll squat 2 40-pound dumbbells, so 80 pounds. I'll squat that 10 or 15 times. I think that's an ideal amount, and to try to want to exercise more, and it's just a quiet it's like a quiet desperation of always trying more and more and more. I don't think it's suitable to the real world. The ego wants things to be bigger and everything, and ironically, it's actually more functional, for example, with the sex organs, for them not to be as big. And if you want to have really extensive intimacy, intercourse sessions throughout your whole life, and that's another thing that people bring up, kind of like men were disrespectful to talk about women's breasts. I think in an ideal world, there's a focus and emphasis on women's body, the vagina and the ass, and not breasts, and not men's body or their sex organs, pee-pee. In a world where if you want things to improve, you got to improve the subtle things, like the reason that people hate are disrespectful towards women, for example, men towards women, or like they go to try to marry a woman half their age under the bias of love. That's not love. What that is, and the reason people objectify women, or sometimes women objectify men, is because actual reason psychologically, I've discovered, is because they don't like the idea of labeling somebody their authority, be it mother, aunt, grandmother, anything like that. And the same goes with labeling somebody your authority, father or uncle or older brother, or even brother or nephew. All these labels imply that you have an allegiance to someone, or that you're submissive or dominant towards someone. Father dominant towards son. These are all roles that are a little vague, and they're not. People say it's love, but just because someone's biologically, legally a relative of yours is not of great consequence. What is significant is my idea. I term it the dream team, a group of people that you see as equals, and that would be ideal, I think, and you'd serve each other better. And I think that's another factor in growing old, is if you're calling yourself a grandfather, or I'm a senior citizen, I want a discount. That's all contributing to your thinking mentally that I'm an older person. It's all. I think it's all not healthy. And calling somebody, labeling somebody your doctor. I say you can label somebody, say they're maybe they do you can hire somebody to do a service for you, but be your own doctor. Decide, okay, that's the service I think I want and need. Do your research. The internet age is providing everyone with the opportunity to just be a very, very intelligent, very independent person. And this idea of independence and independent thinking is a critical juncture to actually living a free and joyful life. And just keep in mind, the ego will think that people who are seducing others or engaging in half-hearted, non-committal, activities where they wouldn't be willing to give oral sex to the woman, especially one indicator that your dream mate men is if you would really look forward to giving a woman oral sex, because obviously, that's kind of it's not something you'd want to do with, any woman in particular, and another way is it's just the type of person who you'd rather be with them when they're older than be with a younger woman. See what I mean? You'd rather be with your dream mate when she was older than be with, say, a younger woman, and that's real love. You know, that's real soul. That's the human truth that people seek. It's you. But you have to identify and define your dreams. And one easy and fun way to do it is to have absolutes. For example, I absolutely don't want to have pets in my life. I absolutely want to have a vegan diet in my life. So I apply those to whoever I might discern who is going to potentially be a dream mate. Thanks for considering everything, and let's keep the energy flowing. Aloha.